Hi everyone, and welcome back to Smoke Signals. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach and athletic director Wayne Coleman. Jacksonville opened the season last week in Carthage. Was not a great night for Jacksonville, Coach. I tell you, Carthage, way better than what I thought they were going to be. They definitely are the #1 team in Class 4. This team might go deep in 5A.
They've got a really strong team. Their line is really good on both sides of the ball. They've lost a couple skilled kids, which you never know, if you're going to be able to replace kids, especially a running back that goes to the University of Texas. But with the line that they've got up in front of them, they're gonna make a big run again this year.
Well, you said they were going to be bigger than we were, and there's no doubt they outweighed us 30 pounds a man. But actually, I thought that our kids played well in spots when they weren't, when they weren't getting overpowered. I thought we read our keys well and did some good things. The score to me wasn't really indicative of really how we played throughout the ball game, because they just jumped out to a big start. We gave them four short fields that they turned into scores.
Yeah, we put our defense in a bad position in the first quarter, and it's hard to overcome that against a quality football team. Yeah. It just was a deal of once things started snowballing, then they started playing with a lot of confidence. We started playing with doubts in our head, and it took us a while to regroup from that.
Coach, when the game started so rough for your football team in the first quarter, how did you feel after that as far as how the team responded to that adversity?
Yeah, I thought our kids kept playing hard, and there's always that time in a game as a head coach where you're like, do I need to call everybody up here together to regroup? And I thought about that a couple different times in the game, and I'd look at our kids and I'd look at the sideline. Everybody was involved. Our effort was great. The kids did not let the scoreboard dictate how they were playing, and which is big. That shows some mental toughness, and that's something we can build on.
Coach, offensively, I thought there were some really positive things. Obviously, you had a couple of touchdown passes that were did well, and running the football was good at times. It was just some of the mistakes that happened that would just kind of slow the momentum down, where you really couldn't control the football.
Yeah, we had several procedure penalties, which is very uncharacteristic of us. And you got to go back to practice and address those and try to figure out why those are happening. And when you get those little 5-yard penalties and it puts you behind the chains in the play calling, for instance, our first play of the game, we get 8 yards. Mm-hmm. So it should be 2nd and 2. Well, we get a procedure penalty. Now it's 2nd and 7. Now you're behind the chains. And that's just things that we've got to iron out that are very fixable.
Coach, and also when you look at the quickness or the speed at which they scored, and you look at the scoreboard the first quarter, it was tough. But you said that this is the kind of football game that you wanted to play early to expose what you needed to work on. A lot of teams will play somebody maybe a little softer, get the record padded, but then you may not find out what you have until district play and may be too late. So you, as tough as the game was, you said you like this helps your football team.
Right, and what happens is every time there's a dramatic performance failure on a particular play, like the opening kickoff, there's guys doing things wrong. Well, you've got to address as a coach, was it a mental mistake by kids, or was it a physical mistake? Mm-hmm. Can the kid physically do what you're asking him to do? So the good thing about playing a great team like Carthage is you do find out more about the problems you've got to fix.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights from last week's game against Carthage. Coach, here's the opening kickoff, and again, you talked about assignments right here. Effort was there, but somebody missed something.
Yeah, we've got some kids hustling down the field, but getting out of their lanes. They've got to, if you avoid a block, you've got to get right back in your lane. And then our secondary level players have got to be over the top of the football, so if they do break it, we can get them out of bounds earlier.
That was one of the short fields you gave them for a score, and here's the second one here. This is actually a scoop and score for them.
Yeah, that's one of those deals. You're trying to shoot all your bullets. You don't want to play in a great team like that. You don't want to have any trick plays left when you get it home. That one backfired.
So it's 3rd and long here from your own 15, and bam, 85 yards, Chris Carpenter.
Yeah, great route by Chris, great throw by Tristan, very well executed play.
And here's Jacksonville scoop and score as running back Tucker Smith gets hit. Looks like Thompson, your linebacker, gets it, and TJ Ratliff picks it up, scoops it, 30 yards,
That
touchdown.
was great for TJ. He played his heart out Friday night, and it was good to see something good happen.
And here's a well-executed play, Braylon riding in the end zone.
And that's big for Braylon. That's his first catch as a receiver in varsity football.
Wow. Solid run here by your sophomore, Bryson Tatum.
Bryson Tatum's going to be very special. He's a good football player.
And Pee Wee Fuller, let's just say, I mean, it may have been against the backups, but he dominated that fourth quarter from the defensive line position.
He can really go. He's got a high motor. Kid plays with great effort.
So Jacksonville goes down to Carthage in week 1. This week it's Palestine. The Highway 79 rivalry will be headed up to Rose Stadium in Tyler, Coach. This is your first home game away from home at Rose Stadium in Tyler. Palestine got beat last week by Waco Connolly, so both teams coming in at 0-1. Talk about Palestine. What do?
They've got a very special athlete at quarterback.
Same guy.
Yeah, the gray kid. It seems like he's been there forever.
Seventh year.
I know. It's like
feels like it. Anyway.
And his uncle was the quarterback when I was here in the '90s, and we had fits with him.
Victor Gray. Yeah.
So it's a nightmare all over again. It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to keep that kid contained. He's very dangerous if he gets out of the pocket.
And they got the big tight end back. He was really good for them last year. He's a Division I kid to me.
Yeah, number 11 is bigger than he was last year, so that's really scary.
Now, a lot of speed will be on the field, of course, with Jacksonville and Palestine as always. What will they do offensively?
They're going to be in spread, gun, and try to get the gray kid, the quarterback, loose on us. And we've got to play assignment football and try to keep him inside.
Coach, how was the practice coming back on Labor Day and after a tough loss to Carthage like that? Attitude of the kids right now?
No, the kids are upbeat. They've worked too hard to let one game get them down, and they understand what kind of opponent Carthage was, and they understand why we played them. So we're going to get as much out of that game as we can.
Jacksonville has not played anybody in its history more than Palestine. They played them. I believe this will be the 88th meeting between the two schools. Talk a little bit about what they do defensively, because it seems like we've been in some scoring fests with them in the past few years.
Mm-hmm. They have switched to a 3-3 stack this year on defense, which is a very uncommon defense. You only see that maybe once a year. Last year we saw Alvarado run it. That was the only team we saw run it. So it's going to be something that you're going to have to prepare for, that you've only got a week to get ready for, which makes it difficult.
Zone read, RPOs, stretch plays, is that what they kind of do? Is it kind of similar?
For sure. Their offense looks a lot like ours. Their quarterback runs a little more than ours does. But he has the ability to break the pocket on the pass plays and hurt you bad on the scrambles.
Anything change offensively from what you saw in the Carthage game, and maybe say, you know what, we need to focus on this? Anything that you saw that might alter anything that you're already doing, or is it just keep on keeping on?
Well, I think eliminate the mistakes and address those
mm-hmm.
things. And you can't it's the team that makes the fewest mistakes almost always wins. And with our turnovers Friday night and our penalties, which we were dominated penalty count-wise, the game was, even though it was Carthage, it could have been a lot of other lesser opponents, and we wouldn't have had a chance to win.
Coach, we knew coming into the season you were going to have a lot of players going both ways. How did your personnel work out the other night in moving so many people back and forth from each side of the ball?
The kids, we didn't have anybody cramped. The kids finished strong. We looked to be in good shape. We've got only one injury coming out of the game. So for the most part, the rotation of kids and the players playing both ways, we seem to be okay.
Injury-wise, came out well?
Lost Sam Baker to a broken hand. He was playing our starting H-back, and we're going to miss him, but it's the next man up right now.
Coach, what are the keys to the ball game to get the win against Palestine?
Yeah, you got to reduce your mistakes. You can't beat yourself. Bobby Knight said more games are lost than won, so we got to make sure that doesn't happen.
Jacksonville versus Palestine at Rose Stadium in Tyler. This is one of the home games for Jacksonville. We'll be on the air at 6:45 on 94.3 The Bull. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.